Sports aren't played in a vacuum. What happens on the field and the court spills over to the sidelines, to the bleachers, into newspapers, over electromagnetic waves, and into our hearts and minds. Also, athletes bring their hopes, fears, and beliefs onto the field and court with them, and everything is blended together. That's how we get stories like this one about Father Alan Hoffa, who answered a call to faith just after his freshman football season at Albright College.
Well, with sport, you want to win, a championship. You want to, get your personal best, get that personal record, and all of the things that are underlying that, the dedication, the commitment, also the humility, and the generosity of self-gift. And then you pull that into team sports as well. You look at, I always say, Jesus was a great coach, and the apostles were the best football team that ever was. They weren't perfect. They made their mistakes and they got their fair share of penalties. But at the end of the day, they were the leaders in getting other teams to the goal line of heaven. I think that ability to collaborate with one another and to have that motivation to reach goals is really something that helps me.
Father Alan Hoffa is the interim head of school at Marian Catholic High School in hometown. He uses his many interests and experiences to reach students and parishioners.
I always tell people, with the context of my homilies and things, if I'm going to tell a story, it's not going to be some made-up thing. It's going to be real lived experience. And I think, my diversity, I can remember being in high school, and I would go from basketball practices and track and field practices to being the stage director for our high school musicals. So, I had that diversity of background. So, I try to keep my horizons open to be able to connect with multiple people on multiple fronts with what their interests are. But definitely on the sports side, the kids get it. Father Hoffa knows what he's talking about when it comes to sports, and to be able to tie that in with our faith is a great gift.
Sports help teach Hoffa how to deal with disappointment. He recalls a state playoff basketball game during his time at Reading Central Catholic High School against Riverside that was played at the Hazelton Area High School.
At the end of the game, there was a pass that was in overtime. They went and passed the ball to one of their players. We're coming down to the wire. We're up, I think, by one. Pass the ball to one of their players, and it goes clearly out of bounds. No one touched it. The referee makes a bad call, says that we touched it out of bounds. They give the ball to Riverside. They quickly inbound the ball to their sharpshooter in the corner, drains a three, game over. It was one of the most crushing defeats ever because we were on our path to the state championship that year. It was crazy. You think about, hey, mistakes happen, call them what you will, but the ability to step up. And I think that's the reality of redemption that we experience in faith, where you can pick yourself back up and continue to move forward. We experience those disappointments every single day of our lives, but our ability to pick ourselves back up again and move forward and know that there's someone there, like, athletes, they have the support of their coaches, they have the support of their teammates, they have the support of their families. In faith, we have God supporting us. We have parish communities. We have, the clergy and the religious that lead us. Being able to lift us up is such an incredible gift. And, I've always looked at those great leaders in faith, and especially those great coaches in my life. I have been blessed throughout my time to have great coaches who have supported me.
While growing up, one of the leaders Hoffa looked up to was Monsignor Joe Smith.
One of the greatest things that he did for me was the summer before my senior year. The World Youth Day is an international gathering of young people that the church hosts every 2 or 3 years. And that year, since it was the year 2000, it was a millennial year, a jubilee year, so it was in Rome. So there I am, a 17-year-old kid about to enter into his junior year, and I'm with Pope John Paul II in the middle of St. Peter's Square. Life-changing moment. But when I came back, he said, go and tell the people about your experience. And just this natural, just let's tell it how it is. And it started from there. It was sort of the first opportunity that I got to speak in front of a crowded church. Our church had 1,000 down at my home parish. And I just started talking. And I've always been blessed. I say, the Lord is going to speak through me. I just have to open my mouth and trust that whatever he once said is going to flow.
Not too long after that moment in the church, Hoffa found himself surrounded by his football teammates as they trailed their rival Holy Name at halftime.
I remember coming in at halftime and just, talking to the team and getting them rallied and saying, you know, we're not going out this way. We got to go out there and we got to play like we play. And we wound up coming back on the team, and I think we won. It was like 35-28 or something like that. Perseverance helps us to even make good out of the worst of situations, or something that gets botched or doesn't happen the way we want it to. And again, it's just great for life lessons, and that core of faith to be able to help us. So I've been blessed to be a part of a lot of really awesome situations in sport.
Father Hoffa played on the offensive and defensive line in high school and was also the kicker, and then he went on to play football at Albury College. He was only on the roster for one season because an audible was called from on high.
Interesting little story right there, what happened. So the third to last game in the season, again, I was a freshman, I wasn't starting or anything like that, but I got in, a play or two, and I actually wound up tearing my labrum in my shoulder. So over winter break, got surgery. It was this huge super sling and stuff like that. But actually what happened in that time was I was had to sleep in a recliner. I couldn't move around, do damage to the surgery and stuff like that. So it was during that time of not being able to sleep a lot, actually, that I did a lot of praying. And the question became, well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Not what do I want to do for myself? What do you want me to do? And this call, the priesthood kept coming back. So, kept praying it through, made the decision, go and apply to the diocese, get accepted, go back for the post-op final appointment. Doc says you're healed. However, if you go back to football, you get injured again, you can do major nerve damage to your shoulder and your arm. And I said, all right, you got what you want, so I'm good to go. So it was a little affirmation there. My own body was telling me, and the Lord was telling me, you made the right decision. Football's done.
Hoffa did get to play some intramural football while he was in the seminary, and I'm sure there's a bunch of people at Marian Catholic that don't mind discussing the game every once in a while. For SSPTV Sports, I'm Ken Kara.